Hi, my name is Amal.
My name is Kristen.
Hi, my name is Fabian, and we are all senior mechanical engineering students at Clemson.
So in this video, we're going to talk to you guys about microfabrication processes, mainly photolithography, and it's essentially making patterns with light using different wavelengths.
And you can use this technology to make microchips where you can make robots like Wall-E.
And when you think Wall-E's microchip is sci-fi, you went wrong. Today we are using a lot of devices where are some microchips inside, like calculators, your smartphone, your smart TV, or even thermostats.
But how do we do it?
Well, you see, these companies that make all these microchips use rooms that are called clean rooms. They have to control the amount of particles in the room so that there's no contamination. They use materials that react to make them stronger or weaker. Those materials are called photoresist. Those photoresists have to go on something, right? So they use these bases called substrates, and they're made of various different things. It's like the crust of a pizza. It's the very, very, very base. And they have to use machines that are so complex that they are able to make patterns that are smaller than even the human hair.
Oh, wow. So these microchips are created with a process that is similar to 3D printing in the way that it is built layer by layer. But with 3D printing, you print the layers that you want to keep. But with photolithography, you print a layer and then you take parts of that material away. There's another difference in that with 3D printing, you use heat to adhere that material to your base, whereas in photolithography, you're using chemical reactions that are initiated by certain wavelengths of light.
So now that you know the basics of photolithography, we're going more in depth. So the first step of photolithography is to pretreat the substrate. There you remove contaminants so there can be a uniform layer of photoresist, and you're also cleaning the substrate. So the second step of photolithography is to coat the substrate. Once you have pre-treated the substrate, you have to make sure that you add a uniform layer of photoresist. The photoresist is a liquid which contains three parts. First part is the resist, that's what left behind after the whole photolithography process. The second part is the solvent, it gives the thickness of the layer. And the third part is the photoinitiator, which reacts to the light. Third step in photolithography is the soft bake. Therefore, you have to heat up the whole thing to remove the solvent from the photoresist. So the photoresist is getting more solid.
Once you soft bake the photoresist, you have to expose it to light in order to initiate the reaction. In order to do this, you have to use something called a mask, which hides certain areas of the photoresist from the light so that you get your desired pattern. The type of mask you use depends on the type of photoresist you use. There are two types of photoresists, positive and negative. Positive photoresist, when it's exposed to light, it gets weaker, and a negative photoresist, when exposed to light, it gets stronger. So depending on what pattern you want, you need to choose your mask wisely depending on the photoresist, because if you use a mask that is meant for negative photoresist with positive photoresist, you're gonna get the pattern that is not what you wanted. Once you're done exposing your photoresist and substrate, you need to go into a step called post-exposure bake. The post-exposure bake completes the reaction and is only really necessary for chemically amplified photoresists, and it just adds energy to your photoresist to make the reaction go to completion. Once you're done with the post-exposure bake, you have to go through a development process, which is essentially soaking the substrate and photoresist in a liquid that dissolves away the unwanted areas of your pattern.
After development, the next step is rinsing and drying the component. You have to rinse away any leftover development liquid as well as any leftover photoresist material. Next, you dry it so that you get rid of any of that rinsing liquid you used. Now the last step is an optional step. This step is called hard baking. In hard baking, you heat up and harden any of the photoresist that you would want to be a structural layer.
Now that y'all know a little bit more about the photolithography process, we want you to use it. We want you to go home and grab some tinfoil, marshmallows, and chocolate and see if you can make the same pattern with both materials. The marshmallows represent a negative photoresist and the chocolate represents a positive photoresist. The tinfoil acts as the mask. Since the marshmallows and chocolate won't react to light, use a lighter or a match with some adult supervision to activate the photoresist. These are some examples of what your marshmallows could look like. Good luck!
Thanks for watching our video.
We hope you found it helpful.
We hope you pursue microfabrication in the future, because it is the future.